Hey, what's up geeks? Thank you very much for joining me once again for another video. It's gonna be a long geek end, so I hope you're doing good. So Realme releases another entry-level smartphone of its popular C series. It's called the Realme C15. The handset becomes available today and it starts at 6,490 for the 3GB plus 64GB variant. And this came at the heels of the release of the Realme C11 smartphone. But this time, the company revved up its entry-level offering with better battery capacity, fast charging capability, and a generous set of cameras. However, the release of the C15 makes Realme's entry-level gap even narrower. You might as well watch this whole video here because we will be answering some burning questions like who is it for or why buy this one instead of the Realme C11. So, I know you guys are ready. Before anything else, let's go to the unboxing.
Let's go.
So the Realme C15 comes with an interesting box. It's called the Philippine Squad Edition box. The printed design is the winning entry of the recently held Doodle contest. I'm quite delighted with the Doodle design. It's an intricately drawn piece which represents the Realme Squad's culture and the features of the Realme smartphones. At the bottom of the box, we have the marquee features of the smartphone like the 6,000 mAh massive battery, the 13MP AA quad camera, the 6.5-inch mini drop full screen, and the 18-watt quick charge. Opening the lid, we have the same packet with "Welcome to the Realme family" prints. This small box houses the documentations and other stuff needed for you to get started. We also have the pin ejector here, and underneath the card partition, there's an 18-watt wall adapter and the micro USB cable. So the Realme C15 sports a polycarbonate plastic backing with a unique design which the company calls geometric gradient design. So as you can see guys, the backing of the Realme C15 is divided into 3 trapezoids with 3 different areas. So each area has lines engraved into different angles. So our unit is called the Seagull Silver. So no pun intended, but this gives our review unit some kind of a different shades of gray into these different areas here. So to be honest guys, I wish this handset has one uniform tone to it. You can call me boring, but I'm really not a fan of this design. I would prefer the design of the Realme C3 or the Realme 5i, but one good thing about this backing is that it automatically rejects your fingerprints, so you cannot see smudges on the backing surface. Due to its 6,000 mAh battery capacity, you'll notice a heft on the phone's profile, but I think it's quite negligible when you place it next to the Realme C11. There's also a trendy square quad camera module on the upper left with the LED flash below it. Plus, the back-mounted fingerprint sensor is also where it should be. The frame is also made up of plastic. On the right side, we have the power button and the volume rocker. The left side is a home to the SIM tray with triple card support. The bottom houses the 3.5mm audio jack, the microphone, micro USB port, and the speaker grill. So flipping the smartphone, you'll see the 6.5-inch mini drop LCD display. Just like the Realme C11, it comes with an HD plus resolution, which is quite standard to most entry-level smartphones nowadays. But I also think that the screen is quite solid comparing it to other entry-level smartphones we have in the market today. The screen is very legible outdoors with sufficient brightness. Colors are somewhat accurate with good contrast and detail. So the viewing angles are also very welcoming. So I think this would be a great smartphone for sharing online classes and even streaming videos in Netflix with your family. There are tons of toggles you can do to improve the display experience that's supported by the Realme UI. The dark mode and the eye comfort are great examples. Plus, you can also adjust the screen color temperature from cool to warm. But sadly, there's no OC Vision feature available in here. So we usually discuss the battery at the last part of our review, but due to the fact that the battery is this smartphone's main turf, we'll give the spotlight to it early on. The smartphone crams 6,000 mAh battery, which the company claims could last up to 57 days in standby. In our video loop test, we played an HD video with 50% brightness and 50% volume. The smartphone got a solid 24 hours and 36 minutes. Unlike other entry-level smartphones with big battery, the Realme C15 is supported with an 18-watt fast charging capability. In our charging test, a 30-minute charge gives the phone 24%, which is quite close to what Realme is advertising. There are lots of battery-related software tweaks included with Realme UI. This includes the power saving mode, the super power saving mode, app quick freeze, screen battery optimization, and more. Under the hood, the Realme C15 is powered by a MediaTek Helio G35 processor. You might think that this chipset is quite familiar because this is also the same chipset that is powering the Realme C11. Our review unit comes with 34 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs storage, but there's also an available 4 gig version at 6,990 pesos. For an entry-level device, the processor is more than enough to handle non-demanding tasks. The Realme C15 is quite zippy in handling most of the tasks thrown at it. Pulling and dismissing apps go with ease. Social media apps run smoothly with the handset. We tried playing educational videos as well as entertainment titles, and the experience is pretty solid. Reading ebooks and PDFs are also well supported with apps. Gaming titles like Clash of Clans, Adorable Home do not have issues with the handset. Playing Mobile Legends in high graphics runs smoothly with Realme C15 with minimal frame drops. On top of that, playing PUBG Mobile defaults to standard plus medium settings, making the graphics seem flattened but still playable. Alright, let's talk about the camera. The Realme C15 is the first smartphone of the brand's budget line to have a rear quad camera setup. The main camera is a 13MP sensor with f2.2 aperture lens. This camera sensor supports up to 4x zoom. On top of that, the main camera is also complemented by the 8MP ultra-wide camera. The handset also features a 2MP sensor for the black and white lens and another 2MP for the retro lens. So the retro sensor is somewhat similar to the portrait sensor, which kicks in whenever our shots need to have a depth of field on it. Meanwhile, the black and white lens provides artistic effects when called for. The Realme C15 produces good photos in good lighting condition. Photos come with decent amount of details and contrast. Dynamic range is also good as well as the color saturation. Just like the Realme C11, the camera takes time to focus. The smartphone also supports nightscape mode, which produces fair to decent shots. Photos in low light tend to have muted colors and a bit noisy. However, it's also worth noting that other phones in this segment doesn't have a nightscape or a night mode at all. Ultra-wide angle shots are surprisingly good. With Chroma Boost turned on, you'll have fun landscape photos that have good contrast and color accuracy. However, details are trimmed down compared to the shots coming from the main sensor. As for the software, we still have the Realme UI powering the Realme C15. This skin or user interface is definitely based with Android 10, which gives the smartphone instant access to Google Apps and the Google Play Store. By default, icons are rounded and minimalist. You'll also have the app drawer, which you can access by swiping from the bottom of the home screen. Notification shade is still clean as usual with toggles for your most used functions. There's a Theme Store app which gives you the ability to customize your phone with visual tweaks. There's a sea of smartphones in the entry-level segment, but I think the Realme C15 sticks out due to its 6,000 mAh battery and fast charging capability. Realme is also very generous enough to pack 4 cameras in this entry-level smartphone. Of course, we still have the very generous and wide 6.5 mini-drop display, which I think is very essential in content consumption and watching educational videos. Definitely, it's a solid smartphone for homeschooling, which could provide longer hours of usage time and shorter charging time. However, Realme has released a number of entry-level smartphones this year, particularly the Realme C11. So if you ask me what to choose between the two, well, I think the Realme C11 comes with great value for its price. But if you want to up the ante with longer battery life with fast charging capability and more flexibility in terms of cameras, I think the Realme C15 got you covered. So that's all for me, geeks. It's raining outside and it's gonna be a long weekend for us. Before I said goodbye, if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button below or that bell notification icon for more videos like this. So that's all for me, geeks. Take care, stay safe, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!